All right, Anthony, we're patiently waiting for the arrival of George Carlin.
Yep.
He's here?
Oh, yeah?
Where is he? All right, we got to take a break, and we'll talk to him next. All right, hey, George, what's up?
Hey, look, it is him.
Holy cow.
They can't be bothered with that. I'm doing that.
Hey, George, can we take a quick break and get to you? We're running late, all right?
Something good.
You want some coffee or pot? Young women? What do you need?
Maybe a couple of nice big fat joints.
Okay. We'll talk to George Carlin next, and we want to give away some WWF tickets really fast here, okay? For the show Saturday, December 4th, tickets are going on sale Sunday. And you can win them before you buy them if you give Spaz a call right now. The 10th and 11th callers get them. 212-757-1027 for WWF tickets, all right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the call.
Yeah. I saw.
Opie and Anthony.
How often do you listen to somebody's cell phone through somebody's uterus?
More stupidity on the way.
1027. WNEW New York Infinity Broadcasting.
This is FM Talk at 1027. Talk you can't ignore. It's Opie and Anthony. Hey, George Carlin making his way into the studio. On the way, also the highlights of our huge in-studio fight from yesterday. We'll do that sometime this hour.
Brawl.
But I might wet myself. Here he comes into the studio.
What's going on?
An actual legend. What's up, man? How you doing? Look at you. It's actually him. George Carlin.
Hey, hello, everybody out there. What do you say? What's going on?
Did you smoke a big fatty before you...
No, man. From 1963, I'm still high. So, I keep high like that, man, off of my, past experiences, man.
Yeah. You don't smoke anymore, do you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you?
Punch up, when I write, I like to punch up a little something every now and then.
Yeah.
Look at it through a new lens, and that's
sure.
But
where can George get his weed, though? I mean, like, you're George Carlin. You can't just go out into the park or something.
I go to the park, and I'm well known in the park. I sell a little there, too.
He's dealing, right? Yeah, subsidize the income a bit.
Yeah. So how you guys doing, all right?
All right. I mean, we meet a lot of people, but I think I might wet myself, man. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thanks, man.
I've been buying comedy albums my whole life, but the first ones I bought were yours.
Well, they're in that little CD package now. You look at them in miniature.
I hear it. You got, a CD box set coming out?
Yeah, it's already out. It's got all of the albums from the 70s. People that go back that far will know the albums. I mean, people who don't might be interested. But the nice thing for a person who's a real fan, because I think a box set is a thing a fan buys, not a casual customer. But anyway, in this thing is an additional bonus CD. You have to have a bonus for the people. Need a bonus, a free, extra, complimentary bonus at no cost to you. And what it has is an hour and 10 minutes of stuff nobody's heard yet. So it's like putting out a new album, but it's from the 70s. It's all stuff I didn't use then because LPs were limited to 45 minutes of spoken word. So now we took some of those things off the shelf that didn't get used for time purposes, and they're good. And it's so there's an extra 70 minutes in there of brand new stuff.
Like some more of the dirty words, yeah?
Well, no, not more dirty, because those are on the poster. I got a poster in 2,443 of those.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, this is just, just some additional stand-up stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Stuff I forgot you ever did?
No, I knew the stuff, and I knew I had it in reserve, because it was A stuff, and it belonged on albums or HBO, but at that time I wasn't doing HBO yet, and the albums were only 45 minutes, so we had to take things that were worthy and put them aside.
Right.
That's what this is all about.
Now, George, you were born and raised in New York?
Manhattan, Upper West Side, 123rd in Amsterdam.
And now you live in Vegas?
I have an address there. I live also a little bit in California, and I come here a lot, and I'm usually on the road. Actually,
New York is a nice, safe place now.
New York has never been anything but safe for guys like me. I just put my head down and walk straight. I know where I'm going. I look like I know where I'm going, and nobody bothers me. It's always been that way, even when it was scary. Even when it was scary here. Never was scary to me.
Well, for two white guys from Long Island, it was a scary place growing up when we came into the city.
Yeah, okay, well, I can understand that. And I like the fact that people that don't live right in Manhattan have to call it the city.
The city.
We're going, even guys in Brooklyn had to say that. We're going to the city, man.
Yeah.
Say, oh, yeah, right.
In the city.
That's it. I was born in Manhattan, born in New York City, New York State, New York County.
Okay.
All three.
Nice.
Makes me a New Yorker.
Big baseball fan?
I don't. Here's the deal. I've always liked sports. I follow them. I don't let teams of strangers rule my peace of mind, however. I wanted the Mets to do much better than they did. When they didn't do it, I said, fine, come back and call me when you're good. Or better, at least. Okay. So that's the way I am. I don't let them break my heart. I walk away. But I do pull for my New York teams. The only outsider team I pull for is Oakland because they hire cast-offs and guys that are in trouble and people who are, rough-ups we used to call them, and people that are outside the system make it with Al. And Al's from Brooklyn, and he's got that 1952 hairdo. Yes, he does. So you can't dislike a guy who takes on the whole league in court and beats him. Right. So the Oakland's a favorite of mine, but the Jets, the Giants, and the Knicks, the Nets, and the Yankees, and the Mets. I know it's stupid to like them all, but I do.
That's okay. One of my favorite bits ever.
Yeah.
From you. Baseball, football.
You know what I did lately? I did a Jay Leno show about 2 weeks ago, and I did the latest, most up-to-date version of that. Mm-hmm. And it has a few extra elements that weren't in it before, and it was always something that was in the midst of development. It was never finished.
That's a great bit.
So thank you. I'm proud of that piece, and I threw it out there the other night, and now I have a nice new complete version.
Could you give us a couple of the new ones?
Well, a couple of the points I made, and I probably won't make them as articulately as I'd like here, but
just smoke that big joint.
Well, not quite that. It's just that I memorized them well for that night.
Oh, okay. All right.
They were new points. One of them is in most sports, most sports you score. Most sports that have a ball, you score with the ball, and you cannot score without the ball. In baseball, you score without the ball, and in fact, the ball can prevent you from scoring. Another point is in most sports, the ball or object is put in play by the offensive team. In baseball, the defense puts the ball in play, and only the defense is allowed to touch the ball. And in fact, if an offensive player touches the ball in baseball, he's out. If he does it intentionally and sometimes unintentionally, he's out. Right. And the one other comparison I came up with, because I'm always talking about how baseball has a kind of a fruitier tone to it because it's a slower, old-fashioned pace, and football's about war and fighting and all that. So one of those points that I made, an additional one, is that the music involved in football is marches and military music, and in baseball, take me out to the ball game is a waltz. So it's really nice the way the piece is shaped up. I wish I could do it all for you now, but
no, that's okay. It's just wanted a little taste,
That's all you have time for on this fast-paced radio scene.
Woohoo!
Now with this, the whole censorship thing, you've always been against that, sure. Obviously. Yeah. What's the deal with Marty Ingalls? Doesn't he have a problem with you?
I guess so, but they tell me he has taken out ads. He took an ad out in Variety. For people who don't know, Marty Ingalls is a comedy guy from the comedy world. Had a TV show of his own once called I'm Dickens, He's Spencer. He's married to Shirley Jones of the, Shirley Jones situation. I couldn't touch that family. That's it. So he took exception to a lot of my stuff and took an ad out in Variety to tell the Emmy people not to give me the Emmy for my show. He didn't like my show that I did on HBO this year. What the hell is that? We're all diseased, yeah. But I found out that he has done this with other things that he took exception to. Yeah. So it's not personal, I guess. But how can you come out of comedy and, Steve Allen has that.
That's another thing, right.
That's one I don't understand.
Well, that's what's great about you. Obviously, you've been in the business for quite a few years.
Yeah, 40 or something.
And it's not like you've gotten older and all of a sudden you lost your friggin' mind like some of these guys.
No, I got lucky. Whatever genetic kind of package I got real lucky with energy and stamina, but also with the need to kind of improve and grow and progress. You see, this is entertainment, and I know that it's entertainment, and I know it's just stand-up comedy, but it's art, too. There's art in here, and I think an artist has an obligation to be en route somewhere, to be moving somewhere, and you don't have to know where it is, as long as he's out there moving, and that's what I've tried to do, and I've always changed according to the beat of my heart and how I felt. Not, to please the fashions of the day, but it happens that I had a good ear for that anyway. But I just had to take care of myself, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. A lot of your stuff is based on reality, People can relate to it.
Yeah, and cutting through these beliefs and these traditions and all these conventions we've been given. You're handed a bunch of truths in this country at childhood. Your parents, you get a slightly different set. Religion is in them, and patriotism.
Well, that's a lot of stuff that draws a lot of fire from.
I got to stop you at the religion part because you have no limits whatsoever, and you do some great stuff on the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and Christianity in general.
You have some serious problems with that faith, and most religions, right?
They betrayed me. They told me they were the one true faith, and they didn't tell me that there is no such thing. They just told me they were it. And they told me when I received First Communion, I'd feel different inside because God would be in me. I didn't feel that. And I was 7 years old, but it made an impression that maybe these people aren't going to slip me the truth every time. So it made me just a little bit cautious about what they were telling me.
Sure.
So, and now I see it for what it is. It's, and Jesse Ventura was right. He just didn't go far enough. It's not just a sham. It's a scam. It's a way of controlling people. And the shame of religion, organized religion, is that it plays on a natural instinct we all have to try to rejoin the universe in some way, to try to be a part of a big whole thing that we feel separate from. And it's a natural impulse. It's where religion comes from, and they pervert that, and they use it and exploit it, and that makes me kind of angry at them.
Right.
Interesting, Right. That's how that started for me.
I was hoping for a joke, but you scared me. I'm getting that feeling like
life isn't all about a punchline, Opie. Sometimes it's just about accepting it.
I'm just
what people are saying.
My problem is too that I take interviews as serious questions and answers, and sometimes I don't act up to my reputation. I apologize.
No, I'm just joking. Look at him, smack him. George Carlin, for God's sake.
Hey.
Well, for God's sake. Not for God's sake.
Him too.
Now, the people are freaking. They want to talk to you. Want to take some calls, George?
Sure.
Would that be cool?
That's cool, buddy.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have more with George Carlin, all right?
Yeah.
It's FM Talk at 102.7. All right, this is FM Talk at 102.7. It's Opie and Anthony and George Carlin in the studio, everyone.
Yeah. Hey.
George is kind of bummed that he missed the Louie Anderson abuse.
Yeah. I miss all the good stuff. I do like Louie's dark side. I like when he talks about people dying and getting killed and smashed up and everything.
I never heard that bit.
I do like that. I've heard a little like that, yeah.
The dark side's anywhere my ass is making a shadow. The dark.
Hey, you have something for George Carlin today?
Yeah, hey guys, how you doing?
All right.
George, your book is awesome. I just wanted to start off by saying that. I love it.
Thanks very much.
First book I ever read that made me laugh out loud.
Good.
All right, I just wanted to let you know, I was at your show on my birthday back in 1982 when you were doing the dress rehearsal for the HBO show.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, to my right, I hear a couple of girls going, ew. And I look over, I'm like, what's going on here? I don't hear a sound, not one sound. All of a sudden, puking. All you hear is it hitting the floor. Everybody's mortified. Nobody knows what to do. So we're sitting there. We're just looking at each other. But the thing that blew our mind was this guy made no sound. Not a sound.
It just hit the floor.
Look how memorable it was to this guy.
Yeah. Boy, did I say anything you remembered?
Unfortunately, we were too far back for you to even notice, but I couldn't believe it.
I would have joined right in the spirit of the whole thing.
Yourself.
I've done something, sure.
Yeah. But the show was great. I had a great time.
I'm sure you did. Thank you.
That's nice, man.
All right,
a little piece of pizza and stuff, a little piece of tomato here and there.
Memorable moment.
What's wrong with that?
And the George Carlin Show. TJ, what's up?
Hey, Mr. Carlin. First of all, I'm a huge fan of yours, and you've been my favorite comedian since I could even understand comedy.
Thanks a lot, man.
I just want to know if you're planning on putting out any new stuff, like besides the thing you mentioned before, like an HBO special or something.
Well, I did one in February, so it takes a little time to generate this stuff, I don't just rip it down off the billboard. So anyway, I got to work on things, and I'll be about another year and 2 months, I'm thinking. I also got to get busy on the next book, so I got stuff to do, but it's not ready yet.
The book was awesome.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, TJ.
You're still doing the That kids show where you
that was
train and stuff.
Yeah. PBS Shining Time Station.
That was a Shining Time. It always cracked me up.
Yeah.
You're flipping around. It's like, hey, look, it's George Carlin's at a kid show. These kids have no clue what this guy's all about, man.
I always took great satisfaction in the irony of that.
Yeah.
And the chance to infect a whole new generation. Because when those little 2-year-olds get to be 12, someone will hand them a CD.
Yeah.
Or they'll come by it somewhere or another, and the world will change. I like that.
I remember this guy from that little nice show. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Listen to him. Hey, John.
Yeah.
What do you have for George?
Well, George, I just want to know, is being, following Ringo Starr as that conductor on Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
That must have been like a highlight of your career, I'm sure.
It surely was. In fact, I consider myself the anti-Pete Best. That's a physics joke.
I didn't catch it, but that's okay.
All right.
Hey, but listen, do you have like a gig that you do about Thomas the Train? I'm sure you probably had some good one-liners that you would have loved to have done on that show, the real conductor on that show.
No, to tell you the truth, there was a separate compartment of my brain. I did it for what it was. I did do something on this year's HBO show about kids and how horrifying I find them and how overrated and overvalued children are in this culture. So there's a nice long screed, about a 7-minute screed on that in case you ever run into the thing. It's called You Are All Diseased. It's also a CD of its own.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thanks, man, for the comments.
Take care.
We get some stuff like that here, too. You get calls from material you're doing, and it always comes down to, the children.
Yeah.
You're hurting the children. So it seems to me like if we played Barney 24 hours a day, there wouldn't be any problems in the world because the children are taken care of.
Yeah, it's just such a sappy mentality. Save the children, help the children. Let them do something on their own, man. And if one of them, 2 of them dies, that's the way it goes.
Hey, Peter, what's going on?
How you doing, boys? George, what's up, my man?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. It's funny you just said that. I was going to ask you, remember that bit where kids are too soft to pussification of kids?
Yeah.
And I think that's great.
Pussification?
I think you invented that word,
that's
man.
My word, pussification.
But one question. I know when I was a little kid, I did whatever I want. My parents like, he's hyper, he'll fall asleep. These days, when the kid acts up in class, he gets a bow tie.
That's one of the 7 words.
I know.
Ritalin?
You know, exactly.
We drag them all over town in search of structure. Little League, Cub Scouts, and dildo practice and all that.
I mean, I like drugs, but I'm an adult. What do you think about kids getting pumped full of stuff?
I think it's a certain inconsistency, I'd say. So these parents talk about drugs and everything, and then they use them for their convenience to get free from a child's normal kind of energy.
There you go.
Sure.
Those are the legal drugs.
It's hypocritical.
Very good, very good. Hang out with these goofy bastards. They're the best.
I'm learning now not to talk anymore.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
All right. JJ, you got a question for George Carlin?
Mr. Carlin, how you doing?
Hello, JJ.
JJ,
hello, JJ. How you doing?
Hey, big fan of yours. My kids used to watch the Shining Time Station all the time.
Good.
And there's one story that stuck out in my mind. I believe it was called A Cow on the Line with Thomas the Tank Train.
Yeah.
And when you imitated that cow noise, I mean, it was horrific. And I was just wondering if...
I hope I didn't scare you, JJ.
You did.
Didn't scare you, did it?
JJ's scaring me.
Maybe you
So I was just wondering if, when you were imitating that cow, if any horny thoughts came through your mind at the time.
Well, I am a Taurus, and that's the bull, and that's horny right there. I'm sorry, I don't have a real clever remark.
Yeah,
perhaps a little Ritalin would help.
One last question, though, with regards to the 7 words.
Yeah.
With the scene of Chicago Hope on the other night, they used one of your 7 words. What's that do to your bit now?
I never haven't done that bit since 1973, so it doesn't do much to it.
Like I said, I'm a huge fan.
Thanks, man. But anyway, they've always. This is an arbitrary list of filthy words that they made up, and so it's open to a lot of questions, and that they can break their own rules. That's the nice thing about running things.
Hey, great job. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
All right, JJ. John, question for George Carlin. We only have a few more minutes here.
Hi, John.
John hung up. Okay.
See you, John.
Another one of my favorite George Carlin bits.
Was that?
Stuff.
Yeah, that got a lot of attention because it's universal, Your house is just a place to keep your stuff while you go out and get more stuff. It's fact.
Yeah.
But I moved recently. Boy, is that a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving after 25 years, and you got a lot of things to move around.
Yeah.
And get to this and throw to that and drop here and do this and bam. And I was crazy, but I got it done. I don't know why I'm saying all this. Nothing funny. I'm not very funny. I got to write something.
I'm not very funny, right?
Yeah. What do you say?
I'm laughing.
You can say that on the air.
Oh, yeah. Some things get there.
You're allowed to say that.
I'd like to really know if there was a list they had now of things that they would take an action on and things that they would let fly. I mean, sure, it has to exist in theory somewhere.
We found out we're allowed to say twat.
Yeah.
We're happy with that one.
Twat.
It all depends on the context.
Yeah,
that's a big thing. Context.
Yeah, it is. Well, and but twat. That's interesting. You can say that.
You could call someone a twat. I'm not sure.
I think you could say that.
I don't think
you just can't describe the twat.
You know what? You can say pecker, and you can say dick if you say Dick Morris's pecker. It's a very strange thing.
Yeah. It's all
context. You can say pissed off, but you can't say pissed on. In other words, a guy can say, "Why are you pissed off?" They don't like that. Urinated, relieved himself. All these wonderful things they made up.
Yeah.
It's so full of it. It's so great. They're watching dance around their own rules.
We just come up with code words.
Oh, good.
Like balloon knot.
Balloon knot.
What do you think a balloon knot is?
It sounds like a boner.
No.
Balloon knot? You ever look into a balloon knot?
Yeah.
See, it's a great description of a balloon knot.
Part of the anatomy.
Sure.
Yeah, the aperture.
The aperture. And then for the fun, we came up with whale's eye.
Whale's eye, not bad.
Not bad, right?
Whale's eye.
That's certainly fair.
Yeah.
I think the whales would be proud.
I don't think that was on your list.
In the fish family. The fish family, so there's a little residence there. That's nice. I like that.
I remember George going through the list, right? Bearded clam.
Bearded clam. One I always liked was let's see, the scientific word is cunnilingus. I think you can use scientific terms.
Sure.
And my favorite is yodeling in the gully. I always thought yodeling in the gully was so colorful and picturesque.
Talking to the little canoe driver.
Yeah,
I remember that one from your show.
Guys go to a lot of trouble, and you know that women invented none of this. That's what's one of the guys in prison with nothing to do.
Any other ones?
Hello, Joey, what do you think it is? And they give you a name for something.
Any other ones for cunnilingus? I remember you had a whole list. Whatever.
He's a cunnilingus. I am a cunnilingus. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there should be another yodeling in the gully. There's something. No, I'm sorry. I'm not coming up with it. I'm not going to fake it.
All right, cool. Ray, what's up?
Yeah, hey, George, you're my favorite comedian. Always have been.
Thank you.
I got a question, though. I saw one special you did where you expressed a lot of your political and religious views.
Yeah.
What would you say is your best source for that? Your book or one of your specials in particular?
The specials that I started doing, or CDs, they're easier to buy as CDs than they are as videos. 1992, it's called Jammin' in New York. And 96 was called Back in Town. So Jammin' in New York, Back in Town, You Are All Diseased, those 3 CDs, and the book has a lot of that stuff in there too. Brain Droppings, it was called.
Yeah, good book.
But that's where the strongest opinions are that I had. Because I've changed and I do a lot more of that stuff now.
All right. Well, keep up the good work. We love hearing you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, thanks, Ray.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
With that, I think we're going to let you go, George.
I'm going to run.
I know you have things to do.
Places to go, people to see.
So the CD box set is out.
CD box set with a bonus disc of 70 minutes of undiscovered treasures. Yeah, it's a lot of fun looking at these old albums in small size and knowing that it's out there now and, people can either get it or not. I like that. It's a great first communion gift, by the way. First communion gift.
I'll be picking it up different. You going to do any live performances in New York in the near future?
Not real soon, real close, but throughout the year, I get within 30, 40 miles most of the time, a couple times a year.
Right, okay. George Carlin, everyone.
I saved the city itself for the HBO show for Manhattan.
All right, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
This has been a pleasure. George Carlin.
I appreciate it.
Up next, the highlights from the huge studio fight, Anthony.
Right.
We'll do that right after this break. Stay there.